Wow, Raider Nation, this is very serious. Rich Eisen, on his show today on NBC Peacock, talked about how the Colts are down to go YOLO on Derek Carr. They are prepared to make a blockbuster trade and send tons of picks and capital for Derek Carr since they have moved on from Carson Wentz, sending him to the Washington Commanders. All right, we're going to make this big on the screen for you, but Rich Eisen, this is what he said today, March 9th. I'm not making it up. I'll just tell you stuff that I heard. In Indianapolis, they're going to try and maybe go YOLO for Derek Carr. You only live once. If the Raiders aren't that into Carr, potentially, and I know how many times do we keep saying that, it might be unfortunate, it might be untrue, but if the Broncos call up Seattle and say, here's everything for Russell, and they're like, sure, then why can't you go YOLO on somewhere else? Why can't you go YOLO on somewhere else? Why can't you only live once? And this is pretty intense, and I started looking at it right when I saw how much capital Seattle was able to get for Russell Wilson. I know fans like to downplay Derek Carr, but it made me quite worried because I started thinking, man, you could probably get a lot of draft capital right now for Derek Carr, especially if Russell Wilson's already on the move and so is Carson Wentz. And so the question becomes, are the Raiders rebuilding or are they going for a championship? Josh McDaniels tells us he's going for a championship, but as we've seen with Pete Carroll went up in front of the cameras and told the fans, we have no intention of trading Russell Wilson. And then they traded Russell Wilson. So I know Josh McDaniels went in front of the cameras, went in front of the fans and said Derek Carr will be the starting QB week 1, but maybe he could pull a Pete Carroll too. And I hope this isn't the case. I am from Fresno. I want us to keep rolling with Derek Carr. He could take us to the promised land. But if we're honestly rebuilding right now, if we're admitting we're rebuilding and not going for a Super Bowl run, this might be a great choice if you want to stock up on capital. Derek Carr is the most valuable he's ever been in his entire career right now. So let's take a look at it. What could we actually get from the Colts if this seriously happen? And the NFL has been crazy lately. Really, anything could happen. Do you think Seattle Seahawks fans thought Russell Wilson was leaving last week? I don't know. But the Colts, they gave away their first round pick for Carson Wentz, so they have a second round from Washington, 2 third rounds, a 4th round, 5th round, and 2 7th rounds. And then next season in 2023, they have their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So they have all their regular picks in 2023. They have some extra 3rd rounders here. They still have a 2nd round. So what would it take for Derek Carr? What would be a blockbuster offer, something that you can't refuse? They're clearly going to have to throw in players. You can't just send a 2nd rounder this year, a 2nd and 2 third rounders this year, and then a 1st and 2nd next year. I don't think that's enough, especially if you're desperate. The Colts are desperate. They have a roster that they believe is set to be Super Bowl ready, and we crushed their dreams last season because they did not have a great quarterback. So you're going to have to throw in some players. I don't know, maybe not Jonathan Taylor, but I like Darius Leonard. You're going to have to throw in some extra pieces to make this appetizing for Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. And even today, when you look at Austin Gale from PFF, he thinks that Derek Carr is likely to be the Raiders quarterback. He has a list of different quarterbacks that the Colts could try to target, and he says Derek Carr is the most unlikely. And I hope that's the case. I hope that Derek Carr is the most unlikely. I hope he's going to be a part of the Raiders long term because guess what? I don't want to go through a rebuild again. The fans don't deserve a rebuild again. We're going to regret moving on from Derek Carr because we're going to see him in Indianapolis, and he is going to ball out if he does go there. They have plenty of pieces in place, and I think he could really make do. And honestly, Derek Carr could set the single season passing yards record with Indianapolis. Currently, Andrew Luck has that record at 47 yards. Derek Carr had 4,800 yards last year. So he could have a baller year in Indianapolis, at least for one season for sure, and be remembered by the fans forever. He's totally capable of that. So I really hope Josh McDaniels, Mark Davis, and Ziegler don't screw this up. And I really hope they weren't playing two-face with us and pulling a Pete Carroll because guess what? Even Russell Wilson went out there on the podium in front of the fans and said, oh, my intention is to win a Super Bowl in Seattle. He obviously knew there was a trade going on behind the scenes. He obviously knew that. So we have to hope that these guys aren't playing PR with us, and they might, because you know what? That's what you have to do in the NFL. You have to make some cold-hearted business decisions, and sometimes it's not always going to be popular with the fans, and sometimes you have to admit to yourself that you are rebuilding. I hope not. I really hope not. And remember this. I don't want this to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I've been reporting that it's possible because even though it's something that I do not want, I have to admit it is possible. And I've come out with videos saying that this is a possibility, us trading Derek Carr, even though I'm a Carr stan. I'm a Carr stan, and I've come out with these videos. People get upset. Some people get happy, right? But people get upset about that, and that's just the way it is, man. This is how it goes. The team is going to entertain any idea possible, and they're going to see what their options are, measure out what they think is going to be the best for the Raiders, and see what happens. I hope we don't do it. I think what's best for the Raiders is that Derek Carr stays. But anyways, my name is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. Thank you for checking this video out. Give us a like on your way out. It really helps me out. And if you've not subscribed to this channel already, please subscribe, man. It really helps us out in the long run. Peace out, and you guys have a good one.